Welcome to Getting to Know You with Grove Group. I'm joined here today with Jamie Miles from Better Vehicle Solutions. Jamie's got two body shops, two accident repair centres, one based in Woking and one based in Sandhurst. Through a series of these interviews, we're just going to be getting to speak to lots of people in the industry and understand their blockers, their constraints, their issues, their problems, day-to-day challenges, and generally anything else that they want to talk about.
Okay.
Right, so Jamie, first of all, thank you for joining me today.
My pleasure.
So going to jump straight into the interview. So moving on question. I know you and your business very well.
Mm-hmm.
But tell the listeners and viewers a little bit about yourself, how you got into the industry, how your business has evolved and grown to where it is today.
Well, it all started over 20 years ago with my dad. He had a little workshop in Woking. It didn't work out that well for him. I started working for him when he was only about a year into the business. That went under, basically. I was a painter and decorator.
Right.
And I had enough of that, so I went to work for him. Like I say, it was only after about a year that went under, so I took over. And soon found out it was a bit different to paint and decorating.
How did you go about that, though? I've been going from painter and decorator to learning about the car refinish industry.
Just on the job, really. It was every day was a school day. When I was a child, Dad we used to go to the workshop with him, and at one point when I was about 12, he moved his business to the house. He used to buy and sell cars, so I was always helping out doing things. So I knew about cars,
right,
but not to the degree of running a business.
Yeah.
Like I say, it was just every day was a school day, and I just plugged along. And then some bloke turned up one day, started harassing me, saying, "Look, come and get rid of the other lot and start to get on with Grove." And you just sound like every other salesman, mate. Go away. But I give him his due. He was persistent, and be honest with you, he helped turn my business around. He really did help me out.
No, thanks for saying that, bud. Appreciate it. It's been great to see how it's grown all the way along over the last 7-8 years.
7-8 years, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, from that point, just before you came in, about a year before, I got some consultants in because I knew it wasn't working right. So that helped out, and it's just been stepping up every year since, and I'm still not happy.
So, what would you say are the top 3 challenges for your business in the next 12 months, and why?
Okay. Well, as many business owners in our industry will know, it's skill shortage is a massive problem.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think it's always got that stigma of it's a dirty industry, but it isn't. It's a very technologically based industry now, and you've got to know what you're doing. And it's interesting. Every day is different. There's different problems arise every day, which have to you have to work out and sort out, and that's not just within the workshop, outside the workshop as well. But I think it's a good trade to get into. There's people out there who muddy the water and paint this picture of like Dickensian sort of times, but it's not.
It's got to be some pretty sort of smart cookies and tech, which is, I suppose, it's a bit strange why younger people are not getting into it, because there's so much technology available to them to get into. Yeah.
I think it's interesting.
So, not a loaded question, but so what do you think the answer is?
Better education, I suppose. People need to be educated that their perception of the trade is incorrect.
And where do we start at? Just start it
from the kids.
So schools,
that definitely needs to be conveyed that it's not what you think it is. So I think it really is the younger generation, because again, there's not many youngsters getting into the trade.
And it's getting the younger generation involved and wanting to get involved in it. But it's the big question is the how. So agree that you start off
Yeah.
when they're young and try and get to them when they're young, but it's then how do you put that message across?
I'm not going to get political, but some time ago it was the government wanted to get kids just into universities, and that's great, but not in all cases.
Do you not think that's starting to turn now, though? That there's a realisation of that, and that people are starting to realise that higher education, in terms of going to university, isn't for everyone, and there is other routes that are not only more applicable to an individual, but necessary to our industry, and not just our industry, the work economy.
Well, I do hope so. I can honestly say I haven't seen that, but I do hope that is the case. We really need to. It needs to be addressed very, very, very quickly.
Very quickly. Last 18 months been very challenging time for all of us. There has been some positives born from the negatives that we've all experienced in our business. So it seems we've all been forced to do things differently to how we've been doing them before. So if you can, give me some examples of some of the changes that you've had to make in your business, the benefits that they brought, and reasons why.
I think a real eye-opener for us was you didn't have to have a full yard of work. As such, we're busy fools, thinking, right, we need as much work as we can to get through the workshop. But having that lull, we had time to sort of sit back and reflect, and actually see that wasn't the case. We didn't have to have loads of work on site. We were more profitable. It was a lot better work environment. It was less stressful. We can do things differently, and sort of pick and choose our work a bit more. Where the sort of contracts sort of fell off, we really concentrated on social media. We're getting so much more retail work, and that is because we really have concentrated on the social media side of things. So we're not as reliant on the insurance work anymore as much as we were. Because at one point, our work was 95% contracted through big insurers.
And what's your sort of, obviously that's a big amount from one work provider, but what's your sort of split now across, say accident management, retail, insurer, manufacturers?
Insurers now 36%.
Right, okay.
And like I say, that was 95. Accident management companies is now around about 30% as well. Manufacturer approvals, that makes up the rest, and retail. Like I say, I haven't got you've picked me on the spot here, I don't come fishing with all my with all the information you want. But it's like I say, we've got such more of a split now across the board.
So it sounds like it's much sort of healthier and stronger position.
Well, it is. Because as we all know, you make more profit out of retail work than you do insurance work. So it's definitely benefited.
Okay, right. So very simple, straightforward one, but probably a long answer to this one, I'm guessing, is, in your opinion, what should the modern accident repair centre look like?
Inviting. Professional.
Well, in the sense of, we know what it looked like in the 80s, in the 90s, in the noughties, and we know what it looks like here today, and we've seen how it's all evolved and changed, and that's a lot with technology. It's so we know those changes are coming, but again, what do you think it should be looking like today, based on all of the changes that we're seeing? Well,
the technology side of it, you really need to invest in the technology within your business. But how can I put it without sounding too bad? We're not really encouraged with the contracts from insurance companies to invest. A good example is ADAS. As we know, it's not cheap. 15 up to £25,000, that sort of mark. Insurance company contracts will say, well, we'll give you 2 hours to do that. So I looked at this last week, funny enough. It would take us just with the equipment alone, based on the average of ADAS we've carried out for that particular insurer, it will take me 8.9 years to pay off for that equipment.
Right.
That's not including all the certification, qualifications and training for the staff.
Mm-hmm.
Why would I invest that sort of money in that equipment when it will take that sort of timescale to pay that back? I just don't, you know.
I can get that. So it's a case of you look at, I'm assuming work done, you look at how many ADAS you get, typically what you'd be able to charge for that, what you cost. So therefore you're 8.9 years. So therefore you make a decision not to invest. So then when you don't invest in that equipment, what does that then mean for the insurer?
It means they pay more money because we outsource it. So, you know, we could, if they just sort of weren't so short-sighted and say, right, okay, fair enough. Instead of paying £250, £300 per ADAS reset, we'll give you £200 because we're still going to save on it. But we're not going to do that. We'll just give you 2 hours.
Right.
2 hours labour on that, and it's, for me, I think that's just, it's ridiculous to look at it in that way. Like I say, they're not really encouraging investment.
Right. How do you think we go about approaching that to make a change there? Because it seems to be an opportunity for some middle ground there, which is beneficial to insurance companies and beneficial to the repairers. So it's...
Well, it is. They need to listen a bit more. Mm-hmm. To the concerns of the repairers. I think there needs to be some sort of collective discussion between repairers and insurers and find some middle ground to make it fair. MBRA needs to be involved more. This is what we pay our fees for. I know they are trying, but I think there's more of that needs to happen.
Okay. So so if you were just starting out, what, if anything, would you do differently?
So I would try to do your best not to have a business which relies on contracts. But obviously that's if you're going to be just a small garage. Retail, I mean, social media now is just paramount, and that makes, I would really concentrate on building a business up with social media. I really don't know the full answer to that question, but starting out, it would definitely be do everything you can not to work on contracts, because as again we've hit on this earlier, is a lot more profit for the same work. So what's not to like about that?
How do you manage the personal pressures of running a business?
Time out. I say that, but I don't have enough holidays.
None of us do, mate.
I've made it all. I mean, I haven't worked a weekend for years. I put my hours in the week. Weekends, I work's forgotten about. The minute I leave work on Friday, I make sure that it's out of my mind, so I can relax and I'm reset for Monday.
So I see that's like a deliberate, conscious thing, you know. Monday to Fridays when I work, weekends is me time. What are the sort of things that you do?
I love the outdoors. Funny enough, I'm outdoors now. I live in the country, so I make the most of it. And so I just find that just so relaxing. I love my gardening. God, I sound old. I love going out with my wife, going up to town, just keep myself busy. A lovely gentleman we know, Andy Watson, he took me clay pigeon shooting now, so I think the wife's very worried because she's now thinking, you're going to get a gun, aren't you, and go clay pigeon shooting. She's probably right. So I thoroughly enjoyed that, just that reset. I think that's very, very, very important, is being able to just distance yourself from the working environment and relax, because it's that reset, and then you're back to work on Monday, raring to go.
So final sort of businessy, worky question.
Okay.
Do you believe that people are your biggest asset?
Yes.
Well, that was very quick.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep. So go on, elaborate. Why do you think that was it?
Well, we couldn't do without them. Nothing. What's the point of having a lovely big flashy workshop with everything in there? You've invested all that money and done everything, and then it's an absolutely beautiful place, and it's empty. You could have a 50-year-old welder or a brand new one. You'll be doing the same thing if you haven't got someone who knows how to use it. We do all the training with our staff, with the manufacturer approvals and BSI. We keep up to date with everything. You've got to have the right staff, with the mentality.
I was going to ask that. I know quite a few of your operatives, and it's a case of there's some guys there that are really experienced, and really know their job inside out and backwards, and you just know and get the sense that they wouldn't entertain going working anywhere else. No. Why is that?
Because I'm too nice.
Don't believe that.
Most of the time.
Most of the time.
No, I mean, we've got a very, very low turnover of staff. I mean, as you know, Javier.
Yeah.
When you can understand him. He's been for 17 years.
Yeah.
I mean, another bloke's there 15, 12 years. I'd want to keep him. And I've always said I want my staff to come to work and be happy.
Yeah.
Because we all know if they're happy, there's a lot more chance of them being efficient. I think it is the most important thing is your staff.
So basically, keep your staff happy.
Yeah.
And you've got a more efficient and productive team.
Absolutely. But yeah, like I say, I was very quick to answer that because I think it's the obvious answer in my mind.
No, that's great. Thanks. Right. Thanks, Jamie. Right, it's been really great chat.
Thank you.
Really informative. I really enjoyed it, actually. It's been really, really nice. But before you go, just some very, very, very straightforward, quick fire questions.
Right.
Straight answers, straight away.
Okay.
First thing that pops into the top of your head. Okay, so Tesla or Mustang Mach EGT?
Tesla. Right. After driving yours. Scared the life out of you.
Yeah. 2 weeks holiday every year, but not going abroad. Or you can go abroad, but only for 1 week every other year.
2 weeks home.
2 weeks at home every year.
Love this country. So 2 weeks here, please. Thank you very much.
Quick fire.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry.
No worries. Only one for the rest of your life. Lager or red wine?
Red wine.
Again, very quick. 5 small to medium sites or 2 large sites?
Medium size.
Yeah, so 5 small to medium.
Yeah.
Okay. Extremely difficult painter at 160% efficiency, or a very accommodating painter at 135%?
I can't answer that quickly. There's so many sort of different parts of that which I could call. Quite. This is quick. This isn't quick, is it? I'd have to go accommodating. Yeah.
And get him to 160.
Yeah, hopefully.
Evening meal with a potential work provider, or a romantic meal with your wife?
Oh, romantic meal with my wife.
She will be watching. She will watch it. Yeah, play the safe card, Jay. and that's it, Jay. You know, look. Thanks again. Been really enjoyable doing this. It's a first interview for me.
And me.
And Jamie. So it's I thought it was great, and thank you very much for all your time and effort. It's really appreciated you doing this. And thanks everybody else for watching and listening, and we'll see you on the next episode of Getting to Know You. Bye.